Mets organization to do so today. As you may or may not know, this is Military Monday, one of several throughout the year at Citi Field. And so the Mets wanted to make sure they came and worked with and honored our veterans today, as they do every year in partnership with VA New York Harbor. So welcome from the Mets organization. But first and foremost, we're here for you, the Vietnam veterans. And I know other veterans have joined us today to honor Vietnam veterans, and you are all welcome to be here.
Nine million Americans served during the period of the Vietnam War. They represented 10% of their generation. 6 million of them were volunteers. They were the oldest and best educated force America ever sent into harm's way. 97% would be honorably discharged.
Only 4.5 minutes, but a pretty powerful film. I know everyone's experience in Vietnam was different, and some were horrific, others less so. I was a Marine lieutenant, was a platoon commander, XO company commander, a whole host of things over a relatively short period of time, only 7 months before the Marines were pulled out in 1971. Before that time, I had traveled to Vietnam in 1967 and 1968 as a college student. My father was in the Air Force and was a B-57 pilot at a place called Phan Rang, which was near Cam Ranh Bay. And I went and saw him there in 1967 and did other things in 1968, so I've been many places that you've been. It seems like it's been a very long time since you came back. Regardless of when it happens, it's nice to be recognized. And so the Mets are here today. I'm here today as one of you to thank you for what you did. Thank you for what you did for your brothers and sisters in arms and what you did for the country. And for you all to know that what you did was much appreciated. So with that, I want to thank all of you. This is a Mets visit, but it's really about you all. And I can't tell you how moved I am to be here.
I was in Naval Action. I was VAW 122. USS
Oh, Independence. What kind of planes did you fly for you?
They flew everything, but I was in my squadron, and these would be big of them.
I'm glad to see you in person.
Yes. Yes, sir. Oh, first cab. Oh, congratulations. That's a proud organization. First cab. Yep.
Oh, Washington's catching up here.
Oh, yeah, they're almost. My guess is they have. I'm not sure whether it's been publicized or not, but you know, unfortunately for Buckner, he's lived in infamy in Boston, although now that they've won some World Series, the edge has been taken off. I always felt sorry for Buckner, and I knew him, he actually was with the A's very briefly after that period of time, you know, in '86, but he's a good guy, and I'm sure that he and Mookie have had some beers. I was at Quantico going through basic school, and the Mets were playing the Atlanta Braves in the playoffs before they ended up playing Baltimore in the World Series. And we were out in the field, and we had Prick 25s, you know what those are, old radios, and we couldn't pick up the radio broadcast of the game, but we could get the audio from the television broadcast. So we were out in the field doing some, maneuver or something, but in the meantime, we were all listening to the Mets and the Braves on a Brick 25 in Quantico out in the hills. that was my first contact with the Mets. It's been a long time since '69, and of course that was a great year, as was '86. It's been mentioned. And we hope that we're getting closer to getting back to that level. So far this year we've been okay, but lots of injuries, and hopefully we'll be able to continue to play well. Or well, when I was in Vietnam, which was 1970, would have been 1970. That one would have missed, but we all had Armed Forces radio. And in fact, I can remember somebody just mentioned last week that Brian Harper of the Nationals hit, I don't know, 6 or 7 home runs in a week. And there was a hitter back in the 60s by the name of Frank Howard. I don't know if any of you remember Frank Howard. Hondo, he played for the Dodgers, he played for a number of teams, but he played for the Washington Senators. And I went to high school outside of Washington, so for a few years I was a Washington Senators fan, which you talk about futility. A lot worse than being a Mets fan, believe me. But anyway, I was in Vietnam in 1968, just in the month of May, and we were circling over, I'm not sure exactly where it was, it may have been like near Pleiku or someplace, and we were dropping these Chu Hoi pamphlets. You remember the Chu Hoi pamphlets? They drop them and try to get the Viet Cong to come over to the other side. So I was riding this plane just as a journalist, and they were dumping these leaflets out, and they had a big speaker, and they were trying to get the Viet Cong to come over to our side. But we were listening to the ball game, and for 3 hours we listened to the Senators play, and Frank Howard hit 3 home runs in that game, and that was probably the highlight of the whole day. Certainly, I don't think any Viet Cong came over to our side. Dwight Gooden, yeah.
You ever come back?
Yeah, he comes back from time to time. He's somebody that works on publicity on behalf of the Mets, and so he's back quite often in the ballpark and speaking at Mets functions. So yeah.
It's good. Okay. How much did you?
How many of you already have tickets? There were some that were distributed before we even got here, but ask and you shall receive. How about that?
You gotta know the hookup.
Here we go. These are Vietnam vets. Everybody's hands going up. They all want tickets. This is Noah Syndergaard, who's 22 years old and pitched for us yesterday and got his first major league win. He hit an opposing batter, Carlos Gomez, in the head in the 6th inning, which did shake him up, I think. But the key thing was when he did that, that was men at first and second, nobody out, and he got out of that inning with only 1 run scored. Got the last 2 outs. So I think that he'll probably be okay, and that really won't bother him. And I think he views that as something that happened. He apologized to the player, and the player's going to be fine. He doesn't have a concussion or anything like that. So he pitched really well, and I think recovered nicely after that incident. So very happy for Noah. He was looking for well over $100 million, and if you look at his, again, he's a very good player for us. He won the batting title the year that he left, but he's also, again, I don't want to disparage Jose. He's a nice player, and he's done a nice job for the club, but he didn't quite fit with us. There used to be a difference. It's much more uniform now because the staff is uniform, but one of the reasons there was a difference in the strike zone between the 2 leagues years ago was the chest protector that was used in the National League was different than the chest protector used in the American League. You may remember something called a balloon protector that the American League guys used. So it was a big balloon thing that, as a result, it was harder for them to call a low pitch accurately. The National League used the smaller catcher-like protector, and they had a little more mobility and flexibility to look at the strike zone. But right now, I'd say that no, there's absolutely not. Yeah, that was a surprise. I'm really interesting to see how that works out. But there've been 2 managerial changes already this season. One in Milwaukee and now in Miami. And sometimes those managerial changes have a positive impact, sometimes they just, you know, rearranging the deck chairs, but we'll see whether it has any impact.
That was my second.